Overflow locations for the university commencement ceremony and college degree convocations will be in the following locations: America First Event Center, 229, Sterling Art Church Auditorium, Sharwin Smith Center Theater, Business Building Rooms 126, 244, and 246, SUU Auditorium, and the Randall L. Jones Theater. Ceremonies will be live streamed into each location. We have a designated lost and found area for today's meetings. Please turn in items you find or go to inquire about items you have misplaced at room 227, located in the hallway outside of this arena. Again, the lost and found area is in room 227.
I can tell that these are
Yeah.
And Lynn?
Woo!
You have butterflies? Oh my god. Always. Like, how's she gonna
Hello! Woo! Go, professors!
This is the one sitting there.
Hello! Woo! Let's cheer for the graduates! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Congratulations! Hello! Woo! Hello! Yes! Congratulations! Woo! Hello! Woo! Yeah, way to go! Way to go! Way to go! Woo! Hello! Congratulations! Oh my gosh! Woo! 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 Hello! Woo! You guys rock! You're amazing! Woo! Yeah! Go T-Birds! Woohoo! Hello! Keep dancing! Hello! Woohoo! Way to go! You guys are awesome! Woo! Yeah! Hello! Way to go! Woo! Congratulations! Hello! Yes! Woo! You're all amazing! Congratulations! Woo! Way back there! You're fine. Hello! Woo! You guys are awesome! You're awesome! You're awesome! Way to go! Whoa! You guys rock! You're amazing! Woo! Hello! You're amazing! You're amazing! You're amazing! Go, T-Birds! You're all awesome! Congratulations! Congratulations!
And you get a car.
And you get a car! And you get a car! Everyone gets a car! Woo! Yeah, CPVA! Woo! Yeah!
That's all PVA students.
Yeah, you show us! Woo! No! Yes! The parade wave! Hello! Go, T-Birds!
College of Performing and Visual Arts. Thank you. Everyone can now be seated. Southern Utah University is honored to have you be part of our 122nd annual commencement activities. The university is proud to host a number of special guests for this year's program. Please stand as your name is read and remain standing. Those seated on the platform today include our distinguished honorees, Karine Clark, and our keynote speaker, Gail Miller. From the Utah State Board of Higher Education, Vice Chair Nina Barnes. Representing the Commissioner of Higher Education, Dr. Julie Hartley. Southern Utah University President, Scott L. Wyatt. From the SUU Board of Trustees, Chair Rich Christensen. Vice Chair Jody Hart-Wilson. Trustees, Dr. Shannon Dulaney, Marilee Eyre, Newman Conte, Mindy K. Larson, and Sidney Nacken. Today's marshal who led the procession with the SUU Mace is Dr. Tony Pellegrini, Department Chair of Teacher Education and Professor of Education. Next, administrative officers of the university on the dais today. President's Council members, Dr. John Anderson, Mindy Benson, Debbie Coram, Marvin Dodge, Dr. Bill Hayborn, Stuart Jones, and Dr. Jared Tippett. Participating in the program today will be student speaker Ajhamae Quiring. We welcome the deans of each college, Dr. Sean Christensen, Dr. Camille Thomas, and Shauna Mandini. The names of additional board members can be found on page 12 in your program. Please join in welcoming all of these distinguished guests to SUU's 122nd commencement ceremony. We ask all to arise. The posting of the colors will be completed by the SUU Army ROTC, and then the national anthem will be performed by Megan Goodrich, music and vocal performance major from St. George, Utah, and Addie Nagley, music and vocal performance major from Riverside, California.
Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, arms. One step forward, march. Ready, face. Forward, march. Ready, face. One step forward, march. Ready, face. Forward, march. Left, left, left.
Thank you. Please be seated. Today's processional music, Liberty Bell March and Washington Post March by John Philip Sousa, was performed by the SUU Wind Symphony, conducted by Dr. Adam Lambert. Please welcome to the podium President Scott L. Wyatt, the 16th President of Southern Utah University, who is presiding over these commencement exercises today.
This is graduation, the sequel. Actually, yesterday was dress rehearsal and today is the real deal. Good morning. Welcome, honored guests, faculty, staff, parents, spouses, partners, children, relatives, friends, and especially you, the members of the 122nd graduating class of Southern Utah University. A special thank you to Adam Lambert and the Southern Utah University Wind Symphony for the beautiful processional music, and Megan and Addie for the national anthem. We're thrilled to recognize 2,361 candidates for graduation. That's 596 master's degrees, 1,473 bachelor's degree, 276 associates, and 16 certificates. It is obvious this pandemic has not kept you down. The average age of your graduating class is 26.9 years old, the youngest, 17, and the oldest has me beat by 4 years, 64 years old. Just one half the world is thinking about retiring. The other half is saying, let's get going. Our 122nd graduating class includes students from 36 countries, one U.S. territory, 40 different states of the Union, and all 29 counties in Utah. And because this is Utah, there are 40 married couples graduating together today. We're glad we didn't let you down. You can read more about this class on page 13 of your program. We will now hear a musical selection, Climb Every Mountain, maybe, yes, by Rogers and Hammerstein, and performed by the Southern Utah University Choirs, conducted by Ashley Stackhouse, directed by Dr. Crystal McCoy, and accompanied by Tracy Bradshaw. This song has special meaning for us at Southern Utah University. It symbolizes our founders' grit, determination, and sacrifice to go up the mountain in the middle of the winter to bring down lumber in order to build Old Main and start this university. This was a community of farmers, ranchers, and miners who actually would never attend or graduate from this school, the school they were building, but they went back up the mountain over and over again in the middle of the winter to bring down lumber to build opportunities for each one of you and thousands of others who have and will learn and grow here. They scarcely could have imagined you, the sight of you, 2,361 graduates from all over the world. Please enjoy the choir. Climb Every Mountain.
Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. A dream that will meet all the rock and hill.
Thank you so very much. The class of 2021 will be represented by Ajhamae Quiring. Ajhamae is from Perry, Utah. Today, she will receive a degree in exercise science and a minor in nutrition. Ajhamae plans to pursue a path in personal training and hopes to end up in the cardiac rehab field. She's also accepted an assistant coach position for Cedar High's drill team. She's excited to be a part of the dance world again and support these girls in their sport. Ajhamae.
All right, I just want to start off by saying congratulations for being here. This is our day after a year like no other. Yeah. Our individual journeys through college have been very different, but I'm sure there are some similarities. Many of us have switched our major multiple times, probably considered dropping out, and we've gone through a period of eating ramen noodles or finally deciding to splurge some money on a decent meal. Some of us have become a true T-bird. We've worked on campus. We've gambled too much at casino night or skated our hearts out at the ice rink. We've been to football, basketball, soccer, and baseball games, cheering on the sidelines with paint on our faces, or playing on the field trying to bring home the win. Maybe your time was spent on the stage, singing, dancing, or acting. Whatever your story is, we're all now in a place of asking, what's next? The story I am about to tell you taught me what it means to be deliberate and excited about your life. It teaches that what you do is not as important as how you treat people. In 1941, Jack was 20 years old and wanted to join the Air Force. He wanted to fly. By this point in time, World War II was in full swing. He was turned away to begin with because you had to be 21 to enlist as an officer. Jack told the recruiter, "I only own this trumpet and a little sack of clothes over here, and I haven't eaten in 2 days." Relatable? Jack worked hard and eventually became one of the best fighter pilots during the war. In 1944, the night before D-Day, Jack and his squad were assigned a mission. It came with challenges and losses, but Jack found comfort in playing his trumpet that he always had attached to his parachute wherever he went. That night after their mission, his captain told him not to play his trumpet. There was still one more German sniper out there that they could not find. The sound of the trumpet would make Jack his next target, but Jack played anyway. His thought was that the sniper was just as homesick and scared as he was. No shots were fired. The next day, Jack was told of a German prisoner captured on the beach. The prisoner kept asking who was playing the trumpet the night before. The prisoner was the sniper. He said to Jack that the German love song he played was the tune to which he married his fiancée and said, "I thought of my mother and father, my brothers and sisters, and I couldn't fire." Retelling the story later, Jack's next statement being so kind, he says, "I shook the hand of the enemy." After the liberation of Paris occurred in 1944, Jack and his squad were assigned to guard the area as the French General de Gaulle, had a victory parade through Paris. The Americans were the ones that liberated Paris, but General de Gaulle loved attention. Jack and his squad decided to put on an improvised air show as some entertainment for the people that were there. And Jack flew his fighter jet underneath the Eiffel Tower. After General de Gaulle's attempt to court-martial Jack and his squad, one of the American generals tore up the paperwork and said, "We've got to have spirit like that." There are many lessons that I have learned from this short part of Jack's life. Jack was fighting in a world war. Kindness and empathy were difficult to come by, but he took the time, risking his life, to reach out to an enemy he thought was struggling just as he was. We are entering a world that is pretty divided, but we can choose to shake the hand of our enemy. We can choose to see the best in others. We can do better in cheering each other on rather than tearing each other down. We are all leaving college on level 1. Be kind to yourself. It will take some time to adjust to our big kid jobs, but more importantly, we get to remember and use every other life lesson we have learned here. I hope we have learned the most important lesson, to never suppress a kind thought or action. A religious leader once said, "If only we had more compassion for those who are different from us, it would lighten many of the problems and sorrows in the world today." Jack loved being a fighter pilot. He loved playing the trumpet. That spirit and passion he had in doing what he loved brought joy and hope to others. Spirit is defined as enthusiastic loyalty and having a special attitude or frame of mind. So, let's have enthusiastic loyalty to our goals. Let's work hard. Let's frame our perspective to help us climb up, jump over, crawl around, or plow through any roadblock in our way. We will discover that plans can and will change, but how we respond to those changes says a lot about ourselves, because we can still have hope rather than despair. Hope is desperately needed in our world today. If we can choose to keep our spirits up, we can always feel successful and find that hope, even if the outcome is not what we anticipated. We can find possibility in every small victory. Whether graduation feels like the beginning of the rest of your life, just a new chapter in your book, or something in between, I hope we never forget the triumphs and challenges we have had here. They have made us who we are. Like Jack, we can be persistent in living what we have learned and what we believe. So let us be purposeful in our choices and actions. Cliche sayings are cliche because they work, so I'm just going to say it. Dream big. It takes just one step at a time. Even if those steps take you backwards or sideways, we can develop the motivation to move forward again. Dig deep to find where your motivation comes from, whether it be from someone believing in you, proving the haters wrong, or living a legacy. I hope we can all stick with it, not give up on ourselves, and change a little part of the world for the better. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Ajhamae, for that terrific message. In public recognition of distinctive contributions, Southern Utah University confers honorary doctorate degrees upon those individuals who have been recommended by the Southern Utah University Board of Trustees under authorization of the Utah Board of Higher Education. Today, we honor 3 people: Quiring Clark, Gail Miller, and Garth Frainer. Garth Frainer was recognized yesterday and won't be here today. Quiring Clark is an inspiration to many people. Why don't you come join me? What's more, Quiring's admired for her leadership in technology, respected for her deeply courageous spirit, and appreciated for her strong philanthropic heart. Quiring, Southern Utah University is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service honoris causa. Congratulations.
Now joining President Wyatt in the presentation of the degree for Quiring Clark are SU trustees Shannon Delaney and Jody Hart-Wilson and Vice President Marvin Dodge. Because we're doing this twice, right, yesterday and today,
It means that Karine has been recognized with an honorary degree now twice. So you've received 2. But it's the same one. So yesterday we gave it to her and then we took it back. So this time we just gave it to you. Our final honorary degree recipient today and keynote speaker for this 2021 commencement is a very familiar figure to all Utahns. Gail Miller has distinguished herself as a leader in the business community, in civic causes, and in providing generous aid to large numbers of social needs. Gail, we are honored to confer upon you. Come up and join me. We are honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service honoris causa.
Now, joining President Wyatt in the presentation of the degree to Gail Miller are our SUU Trustee Chair, Rich Christensen, and Trustee Marilee Eyre, and Provost John Anderson.
We actually had a dinner last night where we spent more time honoring these great people. So actually, we've done this 3 times. So they can all say they've received 3 degrees from us. And Gail, for the 3rd time, you can keep it this time. Congratulations. Congratulations, Gail. We are proud to have you as part of our Thunderbird family. Your support of Southern Utah University and its interests, students, community has made a distinct impact on our university and well beyond. The Larry H. and Gail Miller Center for Entrepreneurship and the primary sponsorship of the Southern Utah University-based Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games serve students, the population, and wider influence of this institution throughout our state. We are grateful for your support. Graduates, please welcome our 2021 commencement speaker, Dr. Gail Miller.
It's a privilege to be here today, and I want to thank Dr. Wyatt and all of those who were instrumental in awarding my honorary doctorate. I am really honored to be a part of Southern Utah University, so thank you again for that honor. President Wyatt, trustees, faculty, staff, and most especially you wonderful graduates, it's an honor to be invited to speak with you today, and I can tell you I am very happy to be able to celebrate with you. Graduating from college, especially following the 2020 pandemic shutdown, is worthy of a grand celebration, and I hope you will spend the rest of your day and beyond celebrating what you've accomplished here. You've climbed a lot of mountains to arrive at this particular mountaintop. And when I chose the topic for my speech today, I had no idea what mountains meant to Southern Utah University, but I chose to talk about mountains. So I think maybe I was a little bit inspired. I grew up in Salt Lake City in a neighborhood just a few blocks north of Temple Square. My world as a child was very small. It covered about 6 square blocks. And in that 6 blocks, everything I needed could be found. My schools were there, my church, the neighborhood grocery store, and all of my friends, and that was my world. The Capitol building was to the east, the city center was to the south, the railroad tracks were on the west, and up to the north was Ensign Peak. And just beyond Ensign Peak were some intriguing mountains, and I often pondered, what's on the other side of those mountains? Well, as a young teenager, I decided to find out for myself. And I set out one day to climb the large peak that I could see from the front porch of my house, believing that my journey to the top of that mountain would be rewarded with glorious views, and hoping that I could see forever once I got to the top, kept me motivated for hours. It was very challenging, but I was exhilarated. The higher I went, the more excited I became. I had never climbed a mountain before, and I was looking forward to the view that I could see at the top. And now, many years later, I have a son and a grandson who are also drawn to the mountains. My oldest son set a goal to climb all of the highest 26 peaks in Utah. He completed that goal last year. He said the biggest lesson that he learned while he was climbing Mount Nebo, the highest mountain in the Wasatch Range, was that you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. His son, my grandson, is more than a hiker. He's a climber. He climbs with ropes up the sheer rock faces of challenging cliffs, and he's even convinced his wife to climb with him. And I am sure that the views are breathtaking, but one mistake could be disastrous, and I hold my breath whenever I know he's climbing. They have spent years training, practicing, and preparing with proper equipment, detailed maps, and a great deal of anticipation and excitement, because being unprepared is not an option for a successful climber. Every year, about 500 climbers attempt the world's tallest mountain peak that tops out at just over 29,000 feet, Mount Everest. From 1922 to 2019, more than 300 people have lost their lives trying to reach its summit. These climbers have to train, use proper gear, rely on support and Sherpas, and learn to carefully adapt, not only to the terrain, but to the altitude. And even after all that, many of these climbers experience dehydration, altitude sickness, frostbite, hypothermia, hypoxia, and earthquakes. Yes, even earthquakes. Jim Davidson, a noted climber, wrote about his experience on Mount Everest in a book called The Next Everest, which was published just last week. He was one of the climbers who was on the mountain when a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Nepal in 2015. He was one of the fortunate that survived, but 17 other people perished on Everest that day. Needless to say, he wasn't able to continue to the summit, but he was able to descend the mountain, and he didn't think he would ever go back. But 3 years later, he decided he would go back, and he successfully reached the top. When he was asked, was it worth it? He only paused for a few seconds, and then he said, and I quote, "Yes, it was worth it, not because I stood on the summit, but because I engaged with the challenge and followed it through to the end. Me standing on the summit certainly didn't change the world, and I don't think it even changed me very much. It was just a few minutes out of 35 years of mountaineering, and I was only up there about 15 minutes max. So why go through it? Well, I think it was taking that big challenge and trying to create myself into someone that can rise up to the challenge. That was the real benefit, not just standing on the summit. The real lesson that I learned was picking the challenge and trying to rise up to it, end quote. I'd just like to recap Jim's advice. Whatever your challenge is, pick something that speaks to you and strive for it. And then craft yourself into becoming big enough to reach your goal. You know, getting an education is a lot like mountain climbing. This journey that you've been on has brought you to this point, has taken a great deal of time and effort and sacrifice, is something that you've accomplished today. And I'm sure climbing your mountain has not been easy, nor has it been for the faint of heart. Sometimes your path has been clearly marked. At other times it was rocky, craggy, and undefined. Sometimes you had to stand at a crossroad and decide which way to go. Or maybe you had to stop and rest for a while before moving on. Each one of you has chosen a challenge, a high goal, and crafted yourself into becoming big enough to reach it. So today, you are on top of the world, and you should be. You've reached your summit. But where do you go from here? Well, today, you begin to make history. For right now, enjoy your 15 minutes on this summit because this is not the end of your journey. This is just the beginning. Remember my story about climbing my first mountain and thinking I could see forever once I got to the top? Well, I could see forever. But what I saw was an endless range of more mountains and valleys, and I have to admit, in that moment, I was disappointed. I thought for sure I would be able to see all the way to the next state, but what I did see was a world that was much bigger and much more complicated than my 6-foot square block neighborhood. I also began to understand that I could do and be whatever I decided if I put my energy into the desired goal. After all, I had just climbed my first mountain. Mr. Rogers said, "Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else." This mountaintop you stand on today allows you to see forever, and now you have fresh choices to make. This is the crest from which you will make those important decisions that will literally shape your future, my future, and quite possibly the future of the whole world. There's nothing as constant as change, and you can be the change that you want the world to see. You have important things to do. You're at a pivotal time in history. COVID has shown us ways of doing things newly. It's shed new light on our challenges and exposed important changes that need to be made. It's unlikely that we will ever go back to the old ways because our foundation has shifted. Life itself has experienced a great upheaval. Our country needs healing. Social ills need to be addressed in new ways, and we must continue to recover from the pandemic. Every generation has had its challenges, but yours may be the most impactful yet. Are you ready, willing, and able to address what comes next? A butterfly emerges from its cocoon in the form of a completely new creature, bringing peace, beauty, and tranquility to the gardens that it visits. Like the butterfly, you are emerging from college transformed and equipped to be the change the world needs. Just as the butterfly can't see its own wings, at this moment, you may not be able to see the impact that you'll have on those around you or recognize your own beauty or contribution, but the world will. And I believe that your generation has been prepared for this time. You are next in a long line of important history makers. Like mountains, historic events are formed when there's great upheaval, when people are stretched, and when new ideas and solutions are being formed. Well, we've recently experienced a great upheaval, and as a result, we're a little more cautious when we meet and greet others. We use fist bumps and elbow bumps, or maybe a nod of the head instead of a handshake or an embrace. We treat diseases and infections more seriously, and we're more willing to stay at home to recover when we're sick. Businesses as well have adapted from office work to work from home scenarios. Children have been homeschooled right alongside working parents, and technology has advanced like lightning. Zoom is now a household word. These are just a few of the groundworks for major history yet to be written, and you will be the authors. Let's recap a timeline of some of the major historical events that I'm sure you'll recognize. The Middle or Dark Ages with a lack of forward thinking, no cultural developments, and a time of religious struggles. Then the Renaissance, which brought about the invention of the Gutenberg printing press, agricultural inventions, and more people drawn to live in the cities. It was during that time that most of the world's most famous pieces of art were produced, such as the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, the Statue of David, and the Birth of Venus. Jumping now to the pandemic of 1918, when the Spanish flu killed over 50 million people worldwide and brought about new public health policies, preventative medicine, and expanded access to health care. Then there's FDR's New Deal in the 1930s, which brought major changes to the way apartment buildings were designed, which, strange enough, required them to have 3-foot hallways and separate bathrooms to reduce the spread of disease in urban areas. And then the Truman era brought about the beginning of the civil rights movement, the development of the atomic bomb, the first TV program broadcast in color, the desegregation of the military, and an increase of married women in the workplace. And now the current era, but certainly not the last, is the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic social justice era that has brought about changes in many areas like normalizing work from home and work-life balance. It's brought increased IT advancements, most notably Zoom. We've also had healthcare innovations like telehealth and precision medicine with a focus on mental health and well-being, and a new emphasis on social justice, diversity, and equality. From this vantage point, you will write the next chapter of history. And during the course of your education, you've experienced tectonic movement in the form of challenges, opportunities, and trials, as well as successes and failures. But like the events of the past, and similar to the ever-changing events that will increase your mountain ranges and create new ones, your charge now is to look outward and upward, to act with accountability to humankind. Beginning today, your life will no longer be just your own. To this point, you have been focused inward. Your influence now must go to the outside and look to the future, and it will be impactful and lasting. I believe you can imagine and create whatever you want to in the worlds of technology, art, science, agriculture, social accountability, and even other fields that aren't evident today, but will surely be visible in time. As you stand on the peak of your mountain and survey the landscape in this post-COVID era, I'd like to suggest a few key areas of focus while you're defining your next adventure. I'd like to start with being kind. Kindness creates permanent change for the better. Kindness is contagious. It draws people to you, and it works like a smile. When someone smiles at you, it's pretty hard not to smile back. So start your own kindness movement. Serve others. Share what you have. Use your time, your talents, and your resources to serve others. Lift someone who's down. Giving back and paying it forward will not only help those around you, but it will give you a new perspective. Service creates empathy, and empathy shows love. Next, be civil. Use good manners and be polite, even if you don't agree with someone. We are in serious need of civility right now. Civility can and will change the world for the better. Be courageous. Let your courage drive out fear. If you let fear determine your actions, you will never know what you're capable of becoming. Fear is contagious, but so is courage. So choose courage. Look inward and face your challenges, and then have the courage to look outward and welcome the future. Next, be inclusive. Embrace diversity. You will be surprised how this will make a big difference. Let's work to create a future of inclusion for everyone. Ideas are not proprietary. They are inclusive. Be innovative and flexible in life and in your career. It's imperative that you bend. If the world hadn't responded to the challenges of COVID, more people would have lost their lives and livelihoods. Being innovative and flexible will prevent us from becoming stagnant. Be patient and forgiving. Without patience and forgiveness, relationships will wither and die. And then keep money in perspective. I know you all want to make a lot of money. It's what entrepreneurs do. But when you make your money, use it to do good. Money doesn't define who you are. What you do with it does. So work hard and don't let money be your driving motivator. Be grateful. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life and satisfies the soul. And next, be successful. Success begets success. And I believe success has at least 3 important components. Number 1, the depth of your relationship with a higher power. Number 2, the quality of your relationship with others. And 3, your stewardship over the gifts and resources with which you have been blessed. Winston Churchill said, "Difficulties mastered are opportunities won." So I would like to encourage you to lead with love, and then success will follow. Remember, you cannot climb a mountain by sitting on the sidelines. Thank you for the opportunity to join you on this most wonderful day, and I give you my best wishes in all that you survey for a successful and happy life. Congratulations, and thank you for letting me be here today.
Thank you, Gail. We are honored you would be with us today and celebrate our students' achievements. Twice. I can tell you the sequel was every bit as good as the first one. Thank you for your tremendous contributions for our state and Southern Utah University, and thank you, Karen Clark and Garth Frainer, for your remarkable lives of service as well. We offer each of you a warm welcome to the Thunderbird family as honorary doctorate degree recipients. You can learn more about our honorary degree recipients by visiting suu.edu/graduation, where there are video biographies for each recipient. And now I invite our provost, Dr. John Anderson, Southern Utah University's Chief Academic Officer, to the podium to make your graduation official. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, President Wyatt. And now it's time. The Utah Board of Higher Education has authorized Associate of Arts, Associate of Pre-Engineering, Associate of Science, and Associate of Applied Science degrees, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Bachelor of Science degrees, as well as master's degree programs in accountancy, athletic training, arts administration, business administration, business analytics, cybersecurity and information assurance, education, fine arts, interdisciplinary studies, music education, music technology, professional communication, public administration, and sports conditioning and performance at Southern Utah University. Would the candidates for graduation with associate degrees please rise? Upon fulfilling all of the requirements for the associate degree, you have the recommendation of the faculty that you be graduated. By virtue of the authority delegated by the Utah Board of Higher Education, I confer upon you the appropriate associate degree in your field of study. Congratulations. You may be seated. Would the candidates for the graduation with bachelor's degrees please rise? Upon fulfilling all of the requirements for the bachelor's degree, you have the recommendation of the faculty that you be graduated. By virtue of the authority delegated by the Utah Board of Higher Education, I confer upon you the appropriate bachelor's degree in your field of study. Congratulations. You may be seated. Would the candidates for graduation with master's degrees please rise? Upon fulfilling all of the requirements for the master's degree, you have the recommendation of the faculty that you be graduated. By virtue of the authority delegated by the Utah Board of Higher Education, I confer upon you the appropriate master's degree in your field of study. Congratulations. You may be seated. Now let's take just a moment and reflect on what just happened, the degrees that were granted, and let's collectively join in one more round of applause for all the graduates. President Wyatt, I think it's back to you.
At this time, I would like to extend to all the graduates our sincere congratulations. And now invite to the podium our alumni president, Mindy K. Larson, class of 1998, to welcome you all to the ranks of Southern Utah University alumni. Mindy.
Thank you. Hello, Thunderbird Nation. As a graduate of the Communications Department, a former T-Bird basketball player, and now a proud member and current president of the National Alumni Council, it is my distinct honor to congratulate and welcome you across the finish line into a group of more than 60,000 alumni. Now, I know you thought you were free and clear of homework, but I'm also here today to give you your first assignment as alumni. But don't worry, there's not going to be a quiz, nobody's getting a grade, and it's probably something that you learned in kindergarten. It's about treating others the way you want to be treated, sharing what you have with the world, and wishing for others what you wish upon yourself. It's the ultimate standard. That's why we learn it very early as children, and why it has been dubbed the golden rule. And gold is great. It's shiny, it indicates winning. Gold is a big deal. But you and I both know that Southern Utah University is a bigger deal. And Thunderbirds do things with a little more intensity and a lot more hustle. So, your first task is to join the rest of the alumni in turning the golden rule red. Now, making the golden rule red means that what you're going to do is you're going to share your experiences and the opportunity that you had to learn from the brilliant minds of world-class professors here at SUU. Tell people about the history and the traditions you participated in, like becoming a true T-Bird, or the one you completed today by walking under Carter Carillon. And most importantly, on Fridays, we wear red. Yes, that never stops, so keep doing it. Shout from the rooftops that you graduated from an institution that truly puts its students first. It hasn't raised tuition in 3 years. It's offering 3-year degrees to those who need it. You matter. Make sure people know that you earned a degree that included real-world experiences and activity in social issues like childcare and animal preservation and treating addiction in rural areas. That your time here and this degree included making a difference, and that's a legacy we all try to continue. You've got to be our influencers. We need you to post your pictures of SUU's outdoor campus and all of your adventures. Let people know there's a place where students are empowered to get out there and explore and engage and experience the outdoors in the most beautiful place on earth, complete with T-Bird Red Rocks. This is a setting you got to learn in every single day and one that you can come back and visit anytime. The alumni are very excited to have you join us in this initiative because the first kindergarten lesson you may have learned was the golden rule, but hopefully the first thing you learned on the campus of SUU is once a T-Bird, always a T-Bird. And this is your chance to start the always part. So finally, as newly minted alumni of Southern Utah University, you already have so much in common with all of us. Just like us veteran alumni, you're already dedicated to the institution of SUU, you're already wearing red, and just like all of us during this pandemic, at some point in time, you were on a Zoom meeting where someone said, hey, you're on mute. So, my most exciting job today is to tell you that it is about time to get loud, because you cannot graduate on mute. So, everybody make sure that you have your metaphorical mics on so that we can officially celebrate your induction into the Southern Utah University Alumni Association. And now that we all have our masked vocal cords ready to go, I want everybody to make sure that their tassel is on the right so that you can move it over to the left. We're very close and we don't want to mess this last part up. So does everybody have it? All right, let's do this. Class of 2021, please stand. Yeah. Okay. On the count of 3, move your tassel over. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
I guess I could say sit down. It just looks great seeing you all standing there. Graduates, please know that your friends at Southern Utah University have a great love for you. We look forward to rejoicing in your successes and for your contributions to humanity. Wow, what a beautiful sight you are. And I've got to take a picture, sorry. All right, you ready? Everybody smile. You want a selfie? Okay, all right. But it might block like half of you. All right, now I'm going to... All right. Now I'm going to take one more. Make sure you're smiling. There's too many of you. I've got to do this panel view. All right. Ready? Mic's in the way. Keep going. You guys are awesome. Even though I have become accustomed to seeing all of you on campus wearing your masks, I don't actually remember being in the presence of so many masked men and women wearing capes. You are such a marvel. Sorry. Thanks. My kids have 2 rules for me. Rule 1, never dance in public. It's too hard on the family reputation. And 2, no dad jokes outside of the confines of our private home. Anyway, we love you. Some days, I think it took all the superpowers you had, masks and cape included, to finish up this year and complete your degrees, and it probably took the same amount of superpowers for your faculty members and staff to get through this year too. What a year it has been. I hope you know that most of your faculty members have put in so much work beyond normal under very stressful and challenging times, and have made educational experiences in many cases even better than they were before. And those experiences will continue on. And that a lot of the staff here have done exactly the same thing, trying to figure out how to help take care of you in such a difficult time. And haven't they done a great job? Students, it has been our singular honor to spend the last 4 years with you. Okay, maybe 5 for some of you. 6 for some of you. 10, anyone? Speaking on behalf of the faculty and staff of this university, I want you to know that our lives are better because of you. The teachers can become the learners. And I'd like you to remember that life has its ups and downs. This is true even after a pandemic and even after graduation. You will face disappointments, hardships, and pains. Despite appearances to the contrary, no one is happy all the time. No one is without trials. No one is completely free of insecurities or anxiety or grief. Everyone has failures, myself included. These are the defining conditions of the human experience. But if you follow the stem covered with thorns, it will lead you to roses. You will have wonderful moments, glorious triumphs, beautiful relationships, and indescribable joys. But these are only made possible by overcoming difficulties. Happiness is meaningless to a person who has never been sad. Sunrise always follows darkness. Winter always gives way to spring. And today, it is spring. It is your spring. So go out and enjoy it. We wish you the very best in life. And I'd like to thank all of those who's participated in these exercises and everyone that has made it possible for you. The wonderful people of Southern Utah University and this community of Cedar City and beyond for helping you have a wonderful last several years and preparing for this particular event. I'd like to thank Dan Frezza for our announcer, and special thanks to the many people who make commencement possible. They all have their regular day jobs and then do a ton of extra work to prepare for today. The commencement committee, to the facilities team, and hundreds of people in between. Everybody plays a role in making this event happen. So, thank you. And I have just one thing left to say. We're adjourned. Love you all.
Please stand and remain at your seats until the platform guests have recessed from the event center. We invite all of you to join us for a celebration beginning right now in the Business and Multipurpose Quad, located outside to the south of this building. Enjoy free refreshments and mingle with family, friends, and faculty, and take photos. Again, everyone is invited to the reception on the Business and Multipurpose Quad. Thank you all for coming today, and please bring your programs back with you to the convocation meetings later today. Those meeting times are found